Hey guys, welcome back. This is Breach, and we are at episode 2 of Dragon Quest. Off screen, I picked up the leather armor and the leather shield. We hit level 5 as well. Picked up a new spell, Fireball, and our stats went up a little bit. So, I mean, that's always really nice. Now, at this point, I am going to go ahead and use the N, because why not recover HP and MP? The 3 gold isn't really going to hurt us that much. But in this episode, we're going to go explore a little bit. First place we're going to go is northwest of the castle to a town called Garenham. The lore for that place is actually found by the traveling bard named Garen, who died there and is entombed there with his lyre, his harp, whatever version of the game you have is calling it. In this one, it's the shiny harp. In the original, I think it was the silver harp. And in the iOS version, it's the Lyre of Ire. Lyre, lyre, like the instrument. So, basically we just want to go northwest, and we're going to check out some new equipment upgrades we can get. There's a Spooky. He's one of the new enemies. Fought him a couple times in our off-screen grind. But essentially, for Dragon Quest, your enemy layouts, someone will tell you every time you cross a bridge it's dangerous. It's like that, except they're, remember back in Final Fantasy 1, you had certain tiles where you can encounter more powerful enemies. It's because the enemy layouts are done in a grid fashion. So, the entire world map is 128 by 128 tiles, and it's partitioned in, square shapes, kind of gerrymandered sections for where the enemies are going to spawn in, which enemies can be there. So that's how we can kind of control where we're grinding to do it most efficiently. Now in the town there, you saw that they have an upgrade for our shield, as well as our armor. I've recorded the gameplay for the next episode already, so off screen we're going to pick up that shield and the $300 suit of chainmail armor. And that's basically just to make grinding a little bit safer for that armor. Because the next town we're going to go to, Kol, K-O-L, is going to have some better armor upgrades for the area we'll go to after that. The early portion of the game is all about getting to know the world around you. Like I said in the first episode, there's not too terribly much gameplay-wise going on for your first, probably 12 to 15 levels. You want to be level 14 before you start tackling the quests and side quests here. And that's really just to get yourself geared up to be able to handle it. They wanted to, I think gameplay design-wise, they stretched it out a bit too much, but they wanted to make sure that you were comfortable enough with the game before you got into the more in-depth and difficult areas. Now, in this next area over south of Kol here, we're running into Magidrakes, which are one of the next enemies we're going to be grinding on, because they give a lot more experience and a lot more gold. 12 and 20 for them. We can also run into scorpions in that area, which will give even more. I think they give something like 18 or 16 experience and 25 gold. So that's how we're going to get up to these numbers. You see there, the iron armor is 1,000 and the steel armor is 3,000. We're going to go with the iron armor. Steel armor, it's just bang for your buck. We're going to be getting another armor upgrade right after we get that. So, bang for your buck wise, the steel armor will cover you until you get the grinding armor. Now, in the NES version, this pixie flute item that's here in Kol is 5 steps south of the fountain. Here, it's only like 3. So, when we talk to this guy, ask if you've been down to Rimeldar, which is the island where we're going to go to next. And he tells you, oh, there's strong monsters down there. You don't want to go there. Well, we do want to go there, because stronger monsters equals better experience gains, better gold gains, and there's going to be better equipment on the island. Now, that's really all we can do until our next stretch of off-screen grinding, but there is another item that I want to go back to the shop and pick up. Honestly, I should have picked it up in that last session of off-screen grinding, since it's only 20 gold. But we're going to go back to Tantegel and Breckenary to get that. Now, you look at the desert there, that's a good place for grinding here, because keep in mind, the deserts are like the hills, so they have a 3 times encounter rate. The woods there have a 2 times encounter rate, and using your plains as your base encounter rate. So, I'm not sure about the poison tiles, what their encounter rate is, but that's how we're going to be getting south to Rimeldar, which we'll see in the next episode. Also, naturally, you have this stretch of land in between Khal and Tantegel's different continents, if you will. And that's just so they can better apportion out these gerrymandered enemy encounter plots, if you will. So it's not necessarily always crossing a bridge. When I was talking about grinding in the first episode there, I said we were going to grind in that one layer of mountains, but not the layer below it. In this version, you can go to those mountains. In the NES version and the iOS version, though, that's going to be your cutoff line for your next plot, where the stronger enemies are. So you want to keep an eye out for that. If I sound informed and like I know where I'm going here, it's because this is my 3rd attempt at recording this. This is the cursed LP that I've tried many times to do, and it just hadn't really worked out. I apologize for the audio desync. My hardware is just not up to snuff, so whenever the gameplay while I'm playing drops frames, the audio doesn't. So that's what's causing that. Point noted from the first episode, I am going to try and turn down the audio of the game for this one. But you see we bought the dragon scale there, and I pressed the wrong button trying to show off the stats. Notice our defense is 14 before we equip the dragon scale. We equip it, and ta-da, it's up to 19 now. So that's been it for this episode. I'm going to do some off-screen grinding, get ourselves up to about 20